We have our 1 minute warning. Yeah, that one's a minute behind. I have 6:30 exactly. Are we um are we online? Thank you. All right. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And I'm going to open with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're just going to open some doors, see if that helps. It's getting a little bit cooler outside right now. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight's our annual budget meeting to go over the recommended budget for the RSU4 school district. We will be presenting that this evening. We're going to introduce the board. I'm going to start on the other end. So we have Matt Early. Actually, I should probably start in the middle. We have Nancy Provost for Sabattis, Teresa Madore for Litchfield, Doug. Oh, Christy's next. Sorry, we just have some door openers here. Thank you, guys. Christy Olette for Litchfield, Doug Bumpus for Litchfield, Scott Fife for Wales, Matt Early for Wales. On this side of the podium, we have Diane Whalen for Sabattis and Robbie Gayton for Sabattis. And you have myself, Nicole Russell, Sabattis, and your chair. So with that, I will be turning over this meeting to our new superintendent. So we'd like to also welcome Marco Aliberti.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. Appreciate that. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marco Aliberti. As Nicole just mentioned, I'm the new superintendent of schools here in RSU4, and it's a pleasure to be with you this evening to continue our budget process. Before we get started, just want to share just a small tidbit of information about myself in regards to RSU4. This is my professional home. I've been here for 10 years now, 1 year as the Oak Hill Middle School principal and the last 9 as high school principal. Look forward, obviously, to the opportunity to serve the communities of the RSU as superintendent of schools moving forward. And more than anything else, I'm extremely proud of the work that's done in the RSU on a daily basis to support our students and then our communities. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with just a brief overview of the budget. All right, thanks so much. So if you guys take a look, these are a set of numbers in regards to our budget process to date. We last met on the 14th of May, 2025. We brought forward an approved board budget of $23,310,071, which is a 2.97% increase over last year's budget. During our public budget meeting, that number was increased and approved to $23,437,909 for a 3.54% increase over last year's budget. Now, with that being said, that $23,437,909 number went out to the referendum, out to the voters. It was not approved. And so in between that time of the 14th and tonight, the board got together to look at for further alterations to the budget. And so I'm just going to read through what those alterations are and how we ended up getting to that number that you see on the screen where it says board approved for 7/9/25 and what we're bringing forward this evening. So with working with the former superintendent of schools and obviously the school board themselves, the following items were adjusted within the budget itself. So the following are $15,000 reduction for the paid family medical leave private plan. There were a $7,000 reduction for purchase property services, and that was a reduction. We had $6,900 that was reduced due to our achieving a Title I-A summer school grant. And then there was some monies that was approved at the last board budget meeting for maintenance, and that was $127,838. So those were removed from the budget. In addition to working with the superintendent recommended reductions, the board also elected to reduce $145,000 from the maintenance cost center funds that have been budgeted for an energy project annual loan payment. This loan was paid off in June of 2025 at the direction of the Finance and Facilities Committee and the full board. Now, with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, the total reduction from last time to this time was $301,738, which brings us to that total amount that we'll be looking at this evening. That total amount is $23,136,171, which is a 2.21 increase over last year's budget. And now for our formal procedures. First step is to elect a moderator. All right. Do I have a motion to nominate a moderator for this evening's meeting? Sir? Randy Greenwood, is there a second? Second, thank you. Any other motions to nominate a moderator? All right. Seeing none, the nominations for moderator are closed, and I will need at least 3 voters to cast written ballots. And you can go back and see Sharon, please, if you are a voter here this evening as part of the 3 towns. If you wouldn't mind casting a ballot, it'd be much appreciated. Yep. Anybody need help voting? No? Okay. And they'll be closed. Thank you. Ballot box is closed. Thank you, Sharon. Four votes for Randy. All right. Mr. Greenwood, come on up. We'll swear you in. Hi, Randy. How are you? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. For sure. Thank you, sir. Are we ready? I'm ready. Okay. Should I do it anyway? What do you think? Okay. I state your name.
I, Randall Greenwood,
Do swear that I will faithfully discharge
do swear that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
the duties incumbent on me as moderator of this annual budget meeting
the duties incumbent on me at this annual meeting as moderator,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that of this state,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that of the state,
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
so long as I
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right.
Good. Appreciate that. So I think this is you. Yep. So, yeah. Randy. This is you. You put them in.
Sure, you got it.
You have the one for who you put it back.
I do, yeah, they're right there for you.
All right, can you hear me? All right, at this time, could I have a representative from each town for the town clerks, who will be the ballot clerks, to come forward to be sworn in? As soon as we read it, you can sign the next one. Don't sign the floor down. All right, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties incumbent upon me as clerk of the annual budget meeting according to the Constitution and laws of the state, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof. So help me God. All right. All right, before we begin, I intend on using the main moderator's manual, A Guide to Town Meeting, 7th edition. Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Just to go over the process, I will read the article. We will look for a motion. That motion will have a discussion. If you're not satisfied with that motion, you could make an amendment. If there's a second, we'll then have that as an amendment. And if you're not satisfied with that motion or that amendment, you could make an amendment to the amendment. And if that's seconded, that's where we'll stop so that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. But if you have a question about process as we're going, please feel free to stop me, come to the microphone, and we will hear your concern. It's my job to make sure that we get through this meeting, just so I know what you're looking to do here tonight. At this time, I think I have a motion from the board chair.
Thank you. Mr. Moderator, I have a motion to seek permission to allow non-resident administrators to speak. We have Marco Aliberti, Samantha Garnett Sias, Norma Jean Audette, John Springer, Jenny Hudner, Jan LaValle, Michaela Stevens, Justin Kelleher, Sean Knox, and Jim Palmer. Brian Daniels and Shelley Mogul.
Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your paddles. Those opposed? That motion carries. Do you have any other announcements, or am I just... Oh, okay. All right. Article 1, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The school board recommends $8,082,112. Motion, please. It has been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 2, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for special education. The school board recommends $5,421,048. Motion, please. It has been moved. It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 3, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for career and technical education. School board recommends $8,218. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Article 4, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for other instruction. The school board recommends $591,008. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Article 5, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for student and staff support. The school board recommends $2,594,191. Motion, please. It has been moved, and there's a second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 6, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for system administration. The school board recommends $800,097. Motion, please. It has been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 7, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for school administration. The school board recommends $1,148,591. Motion, please. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 8, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses. The school board recommends $1,422,012. Motion, please. It has been moved. It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Article 9, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. School board recommends $3,068,894. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion?
I just rise because, first of all, congratulations, the most non-transparent budget that's ever been presented to a budget meeting. The packets aren't out there. We can't compare the numbers. There's nothing we can do. This article I speak to particularly because at this last meeting that we had, money was added to this line, and it was mentioned, as it was mentioned, that that was taken out, even though the budget meeting had expressed their belief that more money needed to be in maintenance because that always falls behind. And already Libby Tozer's got sewer problems, which were probably not identified. We passed on Sabatis in keeping public sewer. So now we got a septic system we have to maintain. So that's going to cost something more in maintenance. So a reason why the will of this meeting, the last meeting, was removed from the budget.
Are you looking to make an adjustment, or was this just a question, comment?
Question first?
Okay. Anybody care to answer?
The board decided to remove the $145,000 because the loan was paid off, and we have an anticipation loan. What is that? Give me the R. What is our R? Revenue, thank you. Revenue anticipation loan that could be used if needed. So we did not remove funds that were slotted for actual repairs.
All right, thank you. Any further questions or discussion? Give me 1 second.
So to follow up, a revenue anticipation note does not allow you to spend more than is budgeted. It just allows you to dip in and borrow money at an interest rate that has to be paid off by June 30th of next year. So it just allows you to go, because the towns haven't paid their money for June and July of next year, May and June. You can get money ahead of time so that you can meet those commitments. So citing revenue anticipation note is not reason that you're allowed to go and reduce that amount. That doesn't really cover the situation of the expenses. If the loan that was paid off was in the repairs and maintenance line, and it wasn't a capital deal, repairs and maintenance, then that amount I could see that could be removed from the budget. We just spent this year's money that would have been left over to offset next year's taxes. We're spending it this year. So, okay, thank you.
All right.
So Bob, I can tell you the reason I voted in favor of what we did there was because there was revenue that remained in the budget that was unexpended. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but I'm hoping that Robbie might have it from the Finance and Facilities Committee. But there was a number of maintenance items that we did as part of this year's budget with revenue or with money that existed in the budget at that time. And I felt that it compensated for the $144,000 that we were taking out of the budget for 2025, 2026.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 10, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments. The school board recommends $0. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 11, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures. The school board recommends $0. Motion, please. It's been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Article 12, to see what sum the RSU will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the RSU will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15688. Recommended amounts are set forth for the town of Litchfield. Total appropriation, $6,251,975.94. The total to be raised by the town of Litchfield, $3,022,753.33. Town of Sabattis, total appropriation, $8,693,618.69. Total to be raised by the town of Sabattis, $2,680,340. Total appropriation for the town of Wales, $3,087,217.43. The total raised by the town of Wales is $983,015. The total appropriated amount is $18,032,812.06, and the total to be raised by the three towns, $6,686,108.33. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Article 13. Article 13 is required to be a written ballot to see what sum the RSU will raise and appropriate in additional local funds. The recommended amount, $4,270,359, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by $4,270,359, as required to fund the budget recommended by the school board. Motion, please. The school board recommends $4,270,359, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by $4,270,359 due to inequities in the EPS funding formula, including but not limited to the regional labor market adjustment factor, student-teacher ratios, extra and co-curricular programs, and administrative costs. Motion, please. It has been moved. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Any questions or discussion?
I would move to amend the amount to $4,027,359, which I believe is the amount of the debt service that the state had been paying, and we just rolled it on over into regular expenses and counted it as no increase.
Can you repeat that number? I wrote down $4,027,359.
Correct.
Is there a second? Not hearing a second, the amendment fails. Any further discussion? All right. We will be voting by secret ballot. The ballot color is mint green. Are we ready to start? No further discussion? All right, I will declare the ballot box open and we'll begin voting. This is a yes or no vote. Has everyone voted who wishes? Does anybody need assistance with voting? Seeing none, I'll declare the ballot box closed and ask the clerks to begin counting. Huh? All right, we have 24 total voters present. There was 19 yes, 3 no. Article 13 passes. Article 14, to see what sum the RSU will authorize the school board to expend for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026 from the RSU's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, local funds for non-state funded school construction debt services, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school board recommends $23,136,171. Motion, please. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. This article being our last article, I do need to get a physical count, so I will ask all those in favor to please raise your paddles and leave them held so I can count. Thank you. You may put those down. Those opposed? All right, thank you. I counted 17 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The motion carries. As a reminder, this is step 1 of a 2-step process. The validation referendum will occur on July 29th. If you live in Litchfield, you will vote at the Litchfield Town Office. You may vote absentee beginning tomorrow. If you live in Sabattis, you'll be voting at the Sabattis Town Office. Again, you can begin voting absentee tomorrow. And if you live in Wales, you'll be voting at the Wales Town Office. And again, absentee ballots are available beginning tomorrow. The polls are open from 8 to 8 in Sabattis and Litchfield, and in Wales from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. With no further business to come before this meeting, is there a motion to adjourn? It's moved. Is there a second? It's been seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. This concludes our meeting.
Thank you.